In the span of a decade, Susan Wojcicki transformed YouTube from a simple video sharing platform into a media juggernaut. However, her reign has been mired with a myriad of scandals and controversies, casting looming shadows over her tenure. Then in February 2023, Susan resigned from her position as YouTube's CEO. In this video, we are going to examine a few key moments that I think best epitomize Susan Wojcicki's turbulent legacy as YouTube's CEO. But before we do any of that, what's up dudes? My name is OK Kyle and welcome to the Internet X-Files. In the beginning of her reign, there wasn't much going on. 2014 through 2015 were relatively quiet years for Susan and YouTube. There wasn't much going on in terms of controversy, but there were a few things here and there, but not much. For example, there was a butt pinch prank here, a shooting best friend prank there, Ty Lopez showing off his fleet of rented cars in this garage, and who can forget the YouTube classic, Mommy Makeout Day. Fast forward to 2016. This is when Susan found herself facing her first pivotal challenge as CEO. You see, back in the day, YouTube was besieged by a widespread issue of rampant copyright abuse. Channels were being struck down with erroneous copyright claims. Doug Walker launched the Where's the Fair Use movement in February of that year. Even Ethan and Eva Klein were being sued because they had the audacity to make fun of a dumbass in one of their videos, eventually taking the case before a court. Shit was out of control. To combat this problem, some big brain glue sniffing fuckhead conceived this fetal alcohol syndrome of a concept called YouTube Heroes, a program that gave you, the viewer, the authority to decide whether a video was worthy of being deemed as inappropriate, controversial, or harmful. But little did we know that behind the scenes, Susan had a far more sinister idea stored in her head. In tandem with the release of YouTube Heroes, she created the VAB, the VAB, the Video Adjustment Bureau. Not many people know about its existence, but I do. I have my inside whistleblower and he told me a lot of private information. Soon after this initiative was announced, many questions arose. The most prevalent being, won't this tool be used as a means of mass censorship, leading to more false claims than ever before? Because as we all know, the internet has a sterling reputation when it comes to being gifted the power of choice to do anything online. Thankfully, before this concept could walk, it was hit by a car and left to die in a ditch like a mangled deer corpse. For Susan and the Bureau, this was only smoke, a precursor for the unprecedented inferno that was about to ravage the platform in the not-so-near future. Amid the 1,000-degree knife and many fidget spinner videos, one video in particular nearly destroyed YouTube, throwing the site into unforeseen turmoil. On January 11th, 2017, notorious Swedish fisting legend PewDiePie posted a video entitled "All Jews Must Die," where he paid people on Fiverr to say and or write the most heinous shit that 15-year-old edgelords would find hilarious, while simultaneously presenting the hypothesis that people on Fiverr are willing to do anything for easy money. And unbeknownst to Felix, some, for a lack of a better term, cunts named Ben Fritz over at the Wall Street Journal watched the video in question. By the end of the video, Ben was fuming, distraught, some would say enraged by the video's content. In response to watching the video, he did the only rational thing that happens to someone when they miss the completely obvious joke of the video. He writes a scathing article lambasting YouTube for allowing supremacist and anti-Semitic content onto their platform, mischaracterizing Felix as Hitler's best friend, labeling him as an avid collector of Joseph Goebbels' artwork, even though there are literal Nazi sympathizers on the platform, but that's besides the point, right? The backlash was instant. Disney personally tailored a hangman's noose for Felix's scrawny chicken neck to hang from. YouTube Red iced his premium series. Then a week-long media war ensued. Reporters and Felix sporadically returned fire from the trenches over the course of a few days. Then, there was a whistle echoing from the sky, followed by a brilliant flash, a towering black mushroom-shaped plume billowing in the horizon, followed by a deafening boom. And before you could hold out your thumb like the Vault Boy to determine how fucked you were, the radioactive blast wave demolished everything in a 100-mile radius. The fallout was instantaneous, for it was the adpocalypse. In the wake of PewDiePie's video, it was also discovered that ads were being placed on extremist videos. The media was outraged that Google failed to enact strict advertising policies to curtail this from ever happening in the first place. One by one, companies threatened to pull future ads from appearing if YouTube didn't act in a timely manner. Upon receiving this startling news, Susan authorized the Bureau to do whatever they saw fit to handle the situation with impunity. It's like when you're in high school and someone throws a paper ball at the teacher, and because of that one person's actions, now suddenly everyone has detention. Being threatened by the loss of potential millions in profit, the Bureau enacted new stringent policies. They made YouTube's search algorithm stricter so that way controversial videos were instantly flagged with the yellow $sign of death. Ad revenue was cut by 30%. Prominent YouTubers found themselves at a crossroads in their career, many choosing to leave the platform because of the evolving ecosystem that no longer tolerated their brand of content. Now you may be thinking to yourself, what constitutes a video as being controversial? Well, Susan and the Bureau left that detail a little murky, like an oil puddle, because it could be anything. Alphabet dudes talking about their existence and experiences? That's too much. Won't someone think of the fucking children? What about an animated video that said bitch tits McFucker once? Go to your room. You're grounded. I don't want to hear a sound out of you. Covering the news and current events? Oh, look at that! That's a green $sign? Give me 1 second. Now it's yellow. Go fuck yourself, dude. Failed comedians and musicians turned insecure political commentators saying the most heinous shit imaginable. You know what? We're gonna let this one slide for now. As companies began holding revenue streams hostage, everyone thought to themselves, how could this possibly get any worse? Creators began poking their heads out from their fallout shelters to explore the smoldering remnants of YouTube to see if anything was worth salvaging. Oh hey! It's our old friend PewDiePie! Does anyone else hear a siren? Oh, motherfucker! During a live stream, PewDiePie said the N-word while streaming, and the snowball just kept getting larger and larger as it rolled down the mountainside. Later that year, there was also the infamous Elsagate bullshit. You remember that, right? Where a bunch of weirdos would dress up as Disney and Marvel characters creating bizarre, scat-filled sexual scenarios? Guess what? Even more ads were pulled because of that controversy. Soon enough, in the span of a few short months, YouTube had become East Berlin, a hellscape existence under a draconian regime that would punish anyone for speaking out. Creators were forced to heavily rely on Patreon and selling merch on these street corners to make up for lost revenue. The Bureau continued creating more stringent policies that effectively deterred people with the ambition of becoming a YouTuber to abandon those dreams, leaving them behind to collect a fine coating of dust and cobwebs. Fast forward to 2018. Just as YouTubers were repopulating the wasteland, Logan Paul decided to fuck it up for everyone by showing a dead body in one of his videos. This video was clearly controversial and went against the guidelines. It had been up for an entire week, fully monetized, but nothing happened to Logan. Susan and the Bureau had the chance to set an example of what would happen when you violated their nebulous and vague rules. Instead of setting a precedent for everyone to follow, they just kind of, slapped him on the wrist and grounded him for a month without his Xbox. Because of Logan fucking it up for everyone, the Bureau quietly enacted a new policy for anyone wishing to join the partnership program by upping the watch time to 4,000 hours watched in a single year and a maximum of 1,000 subscribers. Now, there were 2 more instances of expanding the blast radius, but they fail in comparison to the widespread catastrophic damage caused by the first 2 atomic bombs. There are also 2 more additional topics that I want to explore further that I briefly talked about in this video. The first being a major problem that has been plaguing YouTube for years now, and it's that of content sanitization. From my perspective, YouTube isn't really that creative anymore. It used to be an eclectic mix of different talents and backgrounds just making videos for the hell of it. It all used to be very sincere and earnest in a way, but when I look at YouTube now, I see nothing but the same repetitive content being pushed by multiple creators. Pause this video and go to the search bar and type in Pisces Ginger music video reaction. I've watched many of these videos and the reaction is all the same. Holy shit! What that throat do, girl? Why do you sound like a fucking demon? No one is taking risks with their content anymore because the Bureau has created this overwhelming sense of fear that being different and unique is a detriment. Showing individuality in a video is a death knell. There are channels that actively defy the Bureau, but at a tremendous cost. Let's take Meat Canyon, for example. He creates darkly bizarre but amazing animated videos. But the Bureau and Susan dislike the fact that he doesn't fit into a YouTube archetype and actively mocks them. So they just demonetize his channel, or at least restrict monetization. It's why Filthy Frank got sucked into a black hole and never came out. The Bureau actively pigeonholes creators into these easily distinguishable archetypes to avoid controversy. Yet, ironically enough, in their quest to sterilize content, they've inadvertently created new monsters that now plague the platform. Lastly, I want to touch upon the idea of the corporatization of YouTube. It's a given fact that more people watch YouTube than network television. Seeing as how viewership has shifted from the TV to the computer, advertisers have flocked to this untapped market of vast potential to rake in theoretical millions. But little did they know that YouTube operated with a different set of standards. However, since the first adpocalypse, advertisers have had a direct influence on how YouTube would present itself by holding them at gunpoint, effectively telling Susan, hey look, change how you run things or lose millions in profit. What's it going to be? Naturally, Susan chose profit over the livelihoods of the numerous creators on the platform and kowtowed to these advertisers, but at a heavy cost. I mean, let's use the most recent edict from the Bureau as an example. You can't curse within the first 30 seconds of a video because it's not advertiser friendly. Ain't that some bullshit? That's something that's applicable to a TV show on CBS, not YouTube. But since this is a dystopian nightmare we find ourselves living in, yeah, this is our given reality. Up until a few years ago, YouTube was the Wild West, and now industrialization has begun to tame these once wild, lawless lands, introducing ideas of civility and civilization. It was once a platform that encouraged creators to do just that, create videos. It still says that, but under false pretenses. But due to advertiser influence, the platform has transformed, adopting the old boomer mindset of a TV network in order to appease daddy's checkbook. And this is the legacy that Susan Wojcicki leaves behind, at least from my perspective. She will be forever remembered for transforming YouTube from a once exciting media platform into just another TV network ruled by the ever-changing moods of advertisers. Mind you, this entire video is just my opinion. So once again, my name is OK Kyle. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I love you. And I'll see you dudes in the next video.